put some candlelight on, drop some rose petals for yourself. It's time for the top 10 best softcore romance anime. My name is Misty/Vinicia, and yes, this is a list of exactly what you think it is. Generally, these anime are really badly received, surprisingly. They're not hentai, but they're really not that far off, honestly. Probably because they're 5-minute long teas. Every new season, they make a new show, and I didn't have anything better to do than rank those out for you, so here we are now. Mind you, if you've been expecting quality content, I should probably lead off with the fact that the best entry on this list, the best one, is labeled at 6.36 out of 10 on Mal. So, you know, if you have paint to watch drying off of the wall, you're probably better off doing that. But I'll be here doing my thing. Okay, let's go! You gotta stop advocating against yourself, dude. Number 10, Soryo to Machiwaru Shikiyoku no Yoru ni. Breaking off the ice with this piece of shit. Probably the worst one out of 10, but it's a loving, romantic tale between a monk and just an average Jane. What a time to be alive. The story begins with a woman who goes to her high school reunion and she managed to catch a glimpse of an old high school buddy of her who's turned into a monk or a priest. The subtitles can't seem to make up their mind about it. Not the chastity, vow of silence kind, just a bald dude in a gown, really. When she's out drinking, he takes care of her. He takes real good care of her. I don't think you're getting it. It's basically Saitama who retired from hero business to become a rapist. It should be called One Night Man. Also, episode 2, never go to secondary location. That's rule number 1 of kidnapping. Damn, she's stupid. Number 9, Shudango Capsule Hotel de Joshi ni Binetsu Tsutawaru Yoru. Shudango isn't really that much better than the priest one. This one starts off with an office, out having dinner and drinks. When they party too hard, they realize the last train has left, and through plot harmer reasons, the girl and her boss have to share a tiny cubicle in a hotel room. These capsule hotels aren't uncommon in Japan, but they are really cramped, which forces them to be quite intimate. The boss makes use of his authority, and the night passes. Honestly, the whole thing would be ground for a massive case of sexual harassment, and possibly a lawsuit or two, but it's in Japan, and unfortunately there, women are still living in our equivalent of 1960, which is pretty disgusting, but what are you gonna do about it when you're already having your right hand full and your left hand clumsily trying to click on the next episode? Number 8, Amai Chobatsu Watashi wa Kanshu Senyu Pet. Here's our third basket case of the day. Amai Chobatsu is probably the premise I find the hardest to work with, and trust me, it's not by lack of trying. In case you care about the story in these, a woman has been framed for embezzling, and therefore she must spend 1 year in jail. Turns out the penitentiary has been turned into a co-ed, but she's the only female on site. Yeah, in the history of never ever. Just shut up and go with it. So she meets the warden, and the dude is like really into submission or whatever. So he makes her a slave because apparently being a warden gives you god complex and a complete disregard for any human rights whatsoever. You know what? Fuck it. Nah, I've never done this, but I changed my mind. Louis, put this anime back at number 10, and we'll concurrently offset the other twos to put them lower. Because the more I talk about this one, the more it pisses me off. Number 7, Skirt no Naka wa Kedamono Deshita. The fourth horseman of the apocalypse, the warden, the monk, the boss, and now the cross-dressing man. This is another one that starts off with the party alcohol premise, where the main girl character goes out with a friend to a mixer. A mixer is an event that puts guys and girls from different school or district together to get to bond and make new connections, often used to hook up. Not a party about blenders or Fortnite streamers like I originally thought. Terrible joke, I know, but it stays. Anywho's, during this mixer, a cross-dressing guy picks her up when she's alone and vulnerable, bring her away to get her a drink, and forces himself on her, you know, like a gentleman. Dang, I've never realized how rapey all of these were until I put them all in a list. Oh well, too late to back away now. 4 videos in a row now that got demonetized. You guys want to support me on Patreon? Yeah, you can't blame me for trying. Number 6, XL Joshi.
Finally, some good fucking food.
I'm using this meme with a pretty big stretch, but it's the first one that doesn't imply, well, to use a euphemism, forceful entry. This also started with the night drinking. The story in this one is about a girl who works at a company. Her job is to review condoms. But again, since we established these romantic shorts have the mindset of the mid-60s, she has to try them on with a guy. Yeah, forget using actual reliable testing method like they do in normal company. It's just boink and, well, if they fail, I guess I can provide for a baby while being unemployed because the company went bankrupt because the product was garbage. They're Magnum, by the way. I failed to see how that's relevant in the story, but it's like a big thing, excuse the pun, in the show. So might as well bring it up. Fuck, enough with the puns.
XL ならここにある。よー、もうグラス空じゃん。店員さん、梅酒サワーおかわり。
Number 5, obligatory coffee sip. Yeah, I told you were gonna stick through those. Yubisaki kara no honki. You ever had your apartment set on fire? No, legit question. What if the firefighter who came to put it out was an old childhood friend that you lost contact with, and now turns out he is ripped AF? And now your love is reignited because that knight in shining armor rescued you from imminent doom. That's called survivor's guilt. Not really. That's an actual condition entirely unrelated to this. But my point is now she starts to hang out with... What's his name again? I don't remember, and I truly cannot be fucked to look it up. Let's call him Chad, because honestly, that's what he looks like. So Chad starts hanging out with Cinderella. Get it? Cinder? Dude, the puns are taking over me. Send help, please, do. Anyone but Chad, though. I might end up sucking his dick, and that wouldn't help my situation with the puns at all. There's good money in it, though. Number 4, another coffee sip. Yeah, 2 in a row. Shut the fuck up. Nichigosai no Joshikose. The good old classic switcheroo. The story in this one is about a teenage girl who's through with high school. She doesn't want to go anymore. So the mother of that girl, to not lose reputation in her community, I guess, asks her niece to take her place because they look identical. Eventually, though, she's 10 years older because she's 25. Problem number 2 is the teacher is also a former classmate of the main girl, and he recognized her immediately. So instead of busting her out, he blackmails her into a relationship because that's what you do when you're a sleazy dude and you just got 6 minutes per episode to get it on. Clocks the king and the cocks a chain.
男を黙らせるにはどうしたらいいかわかるか？うちにナノちゃんと同い年になる息子がいるのは知ってるよね。僕も妻と離婚してからは。
Number 3, Omiai Aite wa Oshiego Tsuki na Mondaiji. BT dubs were all the way to number 3, and these are still very hot garbage. So let's see if I can keep my streak going with this straight up copy-paste anime. Seriously, I started watching this anime a few months apart from number 4, and I thought it was the same show, except this time the role reversed. I mean, not really. The guy is still the one pulling all the moves. The girl is the teacher this time, and she's in charge of rehabilitating a delinquent student. She was promised in marriage to a guy. Said student masquerade as him, and look, it's the entire definition of, hey, lend me your homework, okay, but just change it a bit so it doesn't look like you cheated. Except in this case, it's number 4 that copied, but I couldn't lead with that without showing both first, so whatever, who cares? Let's just go to the next one. You're not gonna watch it anyway. Number 2, Joshiochi Nikai Kara Onanoko ga Futekita. This one instantly wins the number 2 spot because of how fucking ridiculous the whole thing is. If you've never heard of this show, you're in for a bumpy ride. The premise begins with a guy that lives in a rundown apartment complex. Above him lives a girl, neighbor, who's into... Was it dancing? I forgot. It's not important. She's into stomping a lot, which is loud and obnoxious for the main character, who's trying to sleep, naked. As some do. Until the ceiling breaks apart and she falls through the floor and fall right on his dick. I fucking lost it, dude. It's so stupid. She tried to get off, but struggling only makes him get off, if you know what I mean. This has to be intended as comedy. From that point onward, it's a back and forth, again, pun intended, between the ceiling girl and the landlord, whom I only assume is interested because she's afraid of a lawsuit. And finally, the number one spot, Araya-san ore to aitsu ga onayu de. Yeah, that's my number one pick because at the very least, this is an intended comedy. I can't say it's especially a good one, but at least it's self-aware. The plot is about a guy who works as a backwasher in a woman's bath. Hold up, that's gotta be a made-up job, for sure. Or at the very least, it would be gender lock, right? Well, for the sake of this show, let's pretend it's not illegal. Guy walks in to do his job of backwashing, and one of the patrons turns out to be his former classmate who used to tease and harass him back in school because she was in love with him, clearly. The dude is also super clumsy, so that adds to the fan service. Overall, if you care very little for the ecchi aspect of this entire list, at the very least, this gives you some comedy to soak in. But that's his only salvation, because at the end of the day, it's still a garbage anime. 10 short, softcore, romantic anime. And if you combine them all together, you get almost a normal anime. They're all pretty bad shows in themselves, so I can't blame you if you feel like staying away. But if you do plan on being brave and tackling them on because you're a completionist, at the very least wear a condom. No, that's the wrong advice here. Put some headphones and lock the door. There we go, that's the right one. Give me a like if you enjoyed this video, cause Lord knows it got demonetized instantly and I ain't paying my rent with $25 a video. So if lately you've won the lottery and you've been rich Uncle Pennybags, or you would just like to support the show, Patreon's a great way to support my garbage content. Otherwise, I might have to resort to go back to the Y2K15 era, where I had to whore myself out more. But truly nobody wants that. Thanks for watching, subscribe for more, or come trash talk me down on my Discord server with the link in the description, and so much more when I'll see you next time.
I've been through the hard times, I've been on the wrong side, I've been ashamed. So many memories, you know I'd like to change.